Done it. We owe you our lives and our livelihood. If not, we'd be food for spiders, and the widow would be dancing on our remains. There is not enough gold to show our gratefulness. But this is what we can give. Take it, with our thanks. I'm not much for leading towns, but I can protect it, especially with hope like yours. Thanks again, friend. The spiders have stopped their attacks, and the wood seems a bit brighter. We'll see how long it stays that way. Be well.
I can't believe I made it out alive. If only Mother and Father did too. For the longest time, I thought I would put it behind me, try to pick up the pieces and keep heading west from the war, but it can't be escaped. There's some things in this world you can't... Safe journey.
Keep it brief. I've work. You? I was wrong about you. It had been so long since we've had to rely on ourselves that you have my thanks. All of our thanks, I'm sure. It's about time somebody took the fight to those spiders. But the next time that witch shows her face, I'll teach her what it means to interfere with Canarok. Barton knows his way around the blade, and he knows what it's like to fight for your life. We could use 10 more like him. I've work to do.
We've still a long ways ahead of us before the silken... Now, what is it that I can do for you? Widows spare you. Ah, but you've saved us. He'll have us carrying wooden swords and marching to our deaths. He doesn't care about this town. You can see it in his face. It's a monstrous place. When Unfer first moved us here... Widows spare you.
I never thought I'd still be standing, but all that was destroyed. All the people who... His is ahead for combat. Though it seems he wanted to leave those days far behind him. My wife, a damn wizard at the alchemy bench, or a damn alchemist. It was something that my old dad used to tell. Watch you don't go too close to the webs, Jen, he'd say. The widow will have your eyes. Damn these fae and damn their magic. We lost half a dozen because some bloody witch thought to be nice to her pet spiders. You've killed one, and that's a start. If I had my way, I'd burn this whole forest to the ground for what they did. Mind the web.
Hello, stranger. I can't believe I made it out alive. Farewell.
Yes, we're going to need another before...
Lord Ferrara, valiant warrior, destroyer of Enfaminir, Duke of the Hylarans, protector of the Ring of Chiozai, discoverer of the island of Meropis, were he only to meet a better end.
Only one head, by the mercy of the gods. I thought my time had come at last. Fate does not seem to hold much stock in my expedition, but it leaves me alive to see its utter failure through to the end. I was leading an expedition to recover a pair of Arathi artifacts, known only as Shine and Shadow. I've spent the last decade researching them. Texts say the artifacts are powerful, but what they can do is never explicitly stated. Regardless, the Templars feel it best to place such items under their guard. But the Ettin have hit us hard. And it's said that the artifacts are guarded in Delak by an ancient powerful shaman of their kind. I'm at a loss for what to do. I have not had such good news in some time. My research indicates that the artifacts are somewhere in Delak. It seems I can promise you this much. Though my expedition was underprepared, it was not underfinanced. A large reward waits for one who finds the artifacts. My research has tracked them to Delak. There is talk of an ancient guardian. From the looks of this place, it's likely some Ettin. I'm here from Odessa on business. The rest of my expedition was wiped out by the Ettin. Can't say I know all that much about the old man, other than he's a fisherman here in Ettinmere. He's quite a hospitable man, though. He let me stay here without much question. Their impudence seems tied to their devotion. From what I can tell, a small number of if someone had a head on their shoulders and a blade, then toppling those shaman would help pacify the area. I came here strictly for research purposes. This is not a place many people would come on their own accord.
There ain't no fish today, stranger. It's best you look elsewhere. Can't even look a fish in the face anymore. Not ever since I met that nymph. I can remember when I first saw her, on the cliff to the south, overlooking Ettinmere. I saw that watery maiden and I've outlived my Imelda. My nephew Thaddeus up and left for Dyden Hill for want of never seeing me again. I had a chance of ending loneliness, but it was taken from me. The beasts of the wild scared her off. We were to wed by my pier, but I ain't seen her for days now. I'd search, but the monsters will rip me to shreds. I bet you could indeed, but that's only half of what's needed. You must also find my bride-to-be. Then the wedding will be upon us. I have I've got to find the ring. I need to find my bear mask. I need to prepare. You best start by the pier. If she's not there, keep heading south. She's bound to be somewhere. Go on now. I will ready myself for the wedding and then catch up to you. I was to meet her at the old pier, but the gentle creek. I first laid eyes on her from the cliff overlooking the lake to the south. I bet if you head south, you'll still find her. Well, I've seen a few fine women in my day. Even met a fey woman in Gorehart long ago. But that nymph, she's something else. Her skin's luster, her heaving prow, and except for the fishy parts, I mean. But even so, I've fished this lake enough that the form is pleasingly familiar. I've been a fisherman on these shores since I could cast a net. Used to be this was Holmes Lake, but I lost my wife Imelda to fever, and my nephew abandoned me to go to Dyden Hill. And now I'm just a man content to die in the house my family built here years ago. They're hostile enough normally, but of late it seems like a couple have become struck with divine inspiration. And if they keep this up, we might have an Ettin war party on our hands. If only someone might take care of those shamans first. Not much here anymore besides the Ettin and myself. We get the occasional traveller, but it's not often. Please, find my nymph.
his term among our court, so virile in his living. He is fervor embodied. He is vitality. He rescued Princess Luna to take as his own. King of strands, Prince of passion.
There she is, my lovely bride. I am all dressed and prepared for our wedding. Thank you, stranger. Bless you. Now, if you don't mind, I'm going to seal my bond with a ring and a kiss. Any last words for a crusty bachelor? My nymph! She just fouled that disgusting Ettin with a glance. Beauty kills even the beast, so they say. Did you not see her wiggle her way to the cliff overlooking the lake? It's where we first met, you know. A grand spot for our union. Well, friend, if there's nothing else, I'm off. You're welcome to witness the event if you care to. Wait a moment. That's no nymph. That's not the graceful creature I fell in love with. You were good enough to go along with an old man's wishes. Might I ask one more of you? I want you to kill that beast, to preserve the memory of my bride. I'll see you rewarded if you do. I'd rather not talk about it, stranger. My personal failings tend to make me upset. You've seen the chaos and destruction the thing has caused. Not only that, but to think I ever loved that thing. It's shameful. I'll reward you for the work. I promise you that much. Just see it gone. Farewell.
So simply Famor, so formidably bloody Bones. Once companion to Issa, now enemy to the court. Once lover of Era, then bringer of death. Now forever in decay, forever cursed, never to enter the great cycle, forever alone. That's the end of that, then. I'm sorry for roping you into such a task, stranger. It's just... you see enough sadness in your life, and you see chances for happiness wherever you look. Now for your reward. Take my wedding ring. Pissed on Imelda's memory long enough. Seems fair I give up what hasn't been taken. It ain't much. Just a small charm that she had when we were wed. When fever took her, I mounted it on her grave, and then one of those two-headed bastards pried it off, carried it to the lake, giggling like a pair of fools. Wouldn't dare follow the beasts there. But if you... well, you've helped me enough. Thank you. You're a kind soul indeed. The Ettin took to the shore as soon as I saw him. He's somewhere on the lake's edge, I'm sure of it. I've been a fisherman on these shores since I could cast a net. Even the Ettin leap used to be this was the Holmes Lake. But I lost my wife Imelda to fever, and my nephew abandoned me to go to... And now I'm just an old man content to die in the house my family built here years ago. One of those Ettin took it and headed south, along the shore. He's somewhere on this lake. I know that much. They're hostile in. If they keep this up, we might have an Ettin war. Not much here anymore besides the...
Try this one! Another victory! It's good you're here. I was beginning to think you were just something I saw in the bottle. Welcome to the ruins of Delok. Because for some reason, you can change fate. In here, I can get a glimpse of the whole of the weave and see where you should fit in. Yes, it doesn't look like much, but in these ruins lies the Theater of Fate, the ancient home of the Fate Weavers. Come with me. No telling what we'll find down there. You know where you stand with a gnome. They're always so focused on their work or research or what have you, that they've got no time for lies. Shame, they try to stay out of fights. Much as we could use their help in the war, staying neutral is about the only way they can stay safe. Ah, the warm and welcoming Fae of the Summer Court. They were the ones who welcomed man, Alpha, and gnome into the Faelands. You'd hardly realize the Tuatha are the same sort of creature. The Theater of Fate was once an Irathi stronghold. Mortals and immortals worked together to build a site of total understanding. Since then, it's been lost, rediscovered, and abandoned all over again. Mortals can't stand the knowledge, and immortals simply don't care. It's the ruins of the Theater of Fate. This is where the first Fate Weavers learned how to read the weave. They left their wisdom behind in the Destiny Stone. I'm hoping that the stone will tell me who you are. In we go. Keep quiet. We aren't safe here. Ever since this place was abandoned, strange beasts have moved in. Stay close. Stay close. This place has been abandoned. abandoned for so long that some Fate Weavers think it's just a legend. Stay close.
This way.
Stay close.
This way.
The theater can show us the whole tapestry of fate laid bare. We can do nothing to change it or prevent its horrors. Well, most of us can't.
After all those years of hiding in a bottle, it's good to see some action again. If only one last time. Another victory! Almost there. Or at least as far as I can take you. This way. I've seen this. This moment. I'm sorry, my friend. This is as far as I can take you. Your future is running out. supposed to... Do you have any idea what you've done? What sort of power you're playing with? You absorbed everything he was, everything he would do. You changed the weave of destiny itself. Because of you, there are deeds he won't do, children of his that won't be born, victims that won't die when they were supposed to. Yes, I'm aware, but there's still no telling what damage you could do if you aren't careful. You're much more dangerous than I thought. We need to get you to the Theater of Fate right away. The Theater of Fate was once an Irathi stronghold. Mortals and immortals worked together. Since then, it's been lost, rediscovered, and abandoned all over again. Stay close. theater of fate. I never thought I'd see it. We Fate Weavers never fully understood the power of this place. Seems there's a lot we don't understand. Gods, I should have brought another bottle. No surprise that Niskaru found its way to this place of power. Everything about these ruins is dedicated to this room, and at the center of it all is the Destiny Stone. With it, the Fae taught the Fate Weavers the art. Put your hands on the stone, and maybe we can find answers to your own mysteries. Just put your hand on the Destiny Stone. It'll show me where you fit into the tapestry of fate. This temple was built by the Arathi, and it's been here as long as recorded history. But the Destiny Stone was made by the first Fate Weavers. The legends say that they drew on ageless wisdom to build the stone. But with our order so scattered now, it hasn't been used in years. The Niskaru are hideous creatures of chaos and corruption. They hated the Arathi, but unlike them, the Niskaru still stalk our world. Thankfully, they've mostly been driven back from the Feylands, but you still find a few lurking deep underground. The Destiny Stone came apart at your touch. And all around you, the tapestry of fate, unweaving itself. And there at the core was the Codex of Destiny. The wisdom that the Fae used to help the first Fate Weavers understand the nature of the weave. Don't you see what this means? Yes, it is. And from what I can tell, you're the one changing it. With every breath, you're changing how lives begin and end. The way the Codex of Destiny came to you out of the stone. That's got to mean something, too. But I'll be damned if I can read this thing. As dangerous as an open flame, you could help people or destroy them entirely. When you get involved, there's no grand cosmic plan. Only freedom and all the dangers that come with it. And that means I owe you... Wait. What's that?
Purge the abomination! In the name of Godfall! Prepare to perish, Ghostly.
You're not working with the Tuatha.
I don't care if you trust me. I'm much more interested in your friend here.
Wait a minute.
You're welcome. I'm beginning to think that these Tuatha don't like you. Now why do you think that might be? After all, someone who can change the fate of the world. Who wouldn't want you? Enough to know you're something special. Far more interesting than you were before you died. And that's saying quite a bit. Now it's my turn. What are you doing here? Ha! Knowing the future is for fools. Who reads the end of a book before it's time? Save your attention for the present. Like that codex you found? Our scholars thought those were all gone from the world, but you're just full of surprises. Good luck understanding it. That's Fae knowledge. They don't even have a written language. The stone is simply embedded with what they know, unseeable to mortals. Normally, I'd suggest looking in Issa, but the Fae are not fond of unexpected guests. But don't look so sad. There's still hope. When you're ready, meet me at the House of Ballads. Be on your way.
We can't trust her. Never met a Dagolfar who'd give me a straight answer, even with a sword at their throat. But she wasn't wrong about that codex. Just be careful doing anything she suggests. Meanwhile, we can't just ignore the Tuatha that are tracking you. We need to do something about them. She said they came through Didenhill, didn't she? They don't belong in these lands, so they probably left a trail wide as an Ettin's backside. Meet me there, and we'll track them down. Maybe we can find out why they're after you, or at least how they can find you so easily. I've got some final rites to perform before I leave this place. Good luck. I've got a lot of prayers to say before I leave here again. Meet you at lunch.
These are Shine and Shadow? I was sent to recover artifacts of importance, not simple weapons. The Templars are going to think me a fool. How am I to return to them with these? There's like to be more dignity in returning empty-handed rather than bringing back such a small trinket. If you want them, they're yours. And I suppose I promise compensation in return for your service. I can't say I'm happy about it, but here's your coin. Now, leave me be. I'm off to Odessa to bring them the sad. If someone had a head on their shoulders and a blade, then my business is done here. I had expected that they might be something like a miniature sun, a battery, which held an the Scholia Arcana had theorized about these kinds of objects, but I hoped the gnomes might have discovered them first.
You found it after all. For Imolda's sake, I'm glad you didn't leave it with that monster. But I have a few coins left to my name, and you can take them. And the bed's free for your use whenever you care for it.
Between them, Ferrara and Famor, filled with life in bloom, and the bloody bones with rot and scar. How terrible is their grapple when they both meet their ends.
I can't believe I made it out alive. Safe journey.
It's good to keep working. It reminds me that I'm still alive, that you saved us. Keep safe. Can't stop now. It's good to keep working. It reminds me, I'm glad you were here and able to set it right again. It seemed like the forest itself was coming to destroy Canarok. Stay alert.
Looking to harvest the webwood. I'm sorry. Be well.
You? You have my thanks. Not soon enough.
But you've saved... Billis and I think widows spare you.
Crazy sisters, Elder.
May I help you? Be safe.
Don't let your guard down.
Hey there. Exciting. Isn't it? A fae living in the village like an ordinary person. Some excitement. Nice talking to you. Hey there.
Welcome to Goreheart.
Need something? Stay indoors after sundown.
Finally, we found the last person we need after all. I'm Helig Cross. I'm leading an expedition to the land south of Dalantarth, the Teeth of Naros, and we could use another strong back. Few facts. The only record of a successful journey there was by an Almain missionary named Denric, returned half dead and maddened to hell. He claimed the southern land as home to a miraculous city, wrought of gold and trimmed with silver. Even said it floated above the earth, if you can believe it. It's hard country, Damn impossible to find a pass in the mountains, but if I'm right, this cavern will take us under them. Because Denric wrote of more than wealth. Tales of giant men, tall as houses, that slaughter any who approach. It took weeks even to convince Cash and Sverri to join me. With the fourth, we can take a bigger haul without sharing too much of it. Denric was crazed, but I don't hold him a liar. I can overlook some bogeyman's tales if there's riches to be had. Can you? I've heard that phrase a lot lately. Not many folks willing to risk the journey, but I promise you this. If even a hair of these rumors are true, we'll be so rich, we'll never want for anything ever again. A mage is always good to have on an expedition like this, except for Cash. But maybe he'll come around. During one of my other campaigns, I chanced upon a diary of an Almain monk, Denric the Crazed. Said he found a way to the land south of Dalantarth. After reading what he found there, cities of gold, fountains of sapphires, I decided I wanted to see this land for myself. Been a mercenary for about 20 years now. Toured with the Warsworn, but didn't take quite as much pride in the work as they wanted. So I struck out on my own. You can make a fair bit of coin selling your sword to keep a farm or two safe. Not that I'll need to anymore. Sverri's got a fairly good head on her shoulders. She's only got eyes for gold, but there's plenty for all on this trip. When it comes to navigating ruins, there's no one I trust more. We're in the foothills of the Teeth right now. It's not the easiest place to reach, sheer cliffs of stone, and few passes through them. We need your aid.
Yeah. Well, glad to see that you made it here safe and sound. Helic's the one you'll want to speak to, though. The mage is more used to seeing women in skirts, but I've caught him leering more than a few times nonetheless. Let's hope his spellcraft is more potent than his stares. Helic knows his stuff, even if he's a bit trusting. I don't know if we'll find riches, but I bet we'll find something. Enough of that.
I see you took me up on my advice after all. Can't say you made a bad choice. Speak with Helic if you want to know more about the expedition. Cranwins don't normally keep company with men like Helic, but he knows the way, so I need him.
Well, look at what we have here. Truthfully, I never expected to see another civilized soul. Something about the giant hairy monsters. Good to meet you. The name is Ray Kildine, purveyor of fine sagecrafting goods and friend to the House of Ballads. I've been out here for weeks. Getting in is the easy part. It's getting back out that will get... Lucky for me, Wenson and his friends have their oratory out here. Whatever an oratory is. They've never let me inside. Sure, Wenson and me are close friends, like brothers. And he doesn't mind at all if I camp outside the oratory here. Just so long as I clean up my mess. Apparently he's a legendary knight of the House of Ballads, its ruler. But I've never seen him slay anything. He doesn't even own a crown. I don't call any one village or city home. No, I'm a wanderer by nature, a merchant by trade. Most people just assume it's because I'm a restless... Actually, it's because my wife wants me. If the two of you ever meet, don't tell her you found me. Please. She's terrifying. It's a mystery to me. Fae come and go, but none of them ever pay me much money. A while back, one of them dropped something in passing. They called it a cairn. I had it in my possession for one glorious night, before they pried it from my grip. Magic, I suppose. They don't seem to do much of anything on their own. I heard Wenson mention something about an echo stone. But I don't... Sounds like trouble to me.
Hello, I'm Lady Olane. What do I call you? I prefer names to titles. Sometimes we here at the House of Ballads can get a little caught up in the veneration. Of course, you're Sagral now, as it should be. Welcome. Famor was no friend to his kind even before he was cursed. It is good that Ferrara's lot in the telling is to end the fiend's days. He deserves it. It may seem silly to outsiders, but the Court of Enchantments has become very meaningful to the Fae of the Summer Court. Our songs live on despite the decline in magic. Mortals have kingdoms and tribes and nations. We Fae are connected to one another by a deeper understanding. The Court of Summer is a circle of elders that, for lack of a better word, no one knows why it is happening. Not even Hallam the White. Yet every day we can feel it. I believe it is due to what the Tuatha have wrought with their flames of war. The world burns. None of us can escape the cleansing fire. I have not met one myself, but there is word that Tuatha have been glimpsed in... Our kind survives by the grace of nature, and there is nothing natural about the Tuatha. When the roots... Call me Olane. The others will never call me anything but Lady Olane, Knight of the Golden Knot, Destroyer of Sreng, and Keeper of the Fenian Cycle. I won a seat in the House of Ballads many seasons ago. Back then I was lost, and I desired a new telling, one with meaning. Your kind might call it a purpose. He's an incredible creature, unique in every way. No other Fae hero has grasped the imagination of our people like he has. Welcome, Sir Sagrel. May I congratulate you on your victory in Gorgoath. I am Queen Belmaid, love of King Wenson and Grand Lady of the House of Ballads. The Fae of the East are not our enemies. We count them among our kind. At least we did. Times change. That is such a mortal thing to say. It is likely that you do not understand our need for continuity. Our desire to repeat the past for the good of the coming future. What then is your drive to create a bloodline? There's no difference. The House of Ballads is our family tree. It is the sire we look to for wisdom. He represents all that is pure and just in the Summer Court. He is the vibrancy of life, what the Winter Court has always sought to darken with its decaying ways. She is our nemesis. The villain we in the House of Ballads are destined to thwart through all the seasons of the telling. If there is trouble, the maid is at its origin. I do not speak of my exploits, unless to warn against the pride that engulfs all who celebrate the telling. We are symbols of a greater truth, not the truth itself. I am best known for my infiltration of the Maid of Windermere's kingdom beyond the hills. It was I who shattered her ambitions to topple the Summer Court. It is difficult to see from its current condition, but the Oratory was once the finest venue for performances of the Summer Court canon. The voices still linger. We regaled many a king under the Oratory's grand canopy, but those seasons have passed. Our time has passed. This realm is at the mercy of cycles, of seasons, and the role of the Fae is no different. The telling is the ongoing story in which we all play an integral part.
When Hallam told me a mortal had taken the open seat, I did not believe him. But here you stand before me. Impressive. It is a pity about Sagrel, a grand hero. But there's not time to raise the king's token in his honor. We need every hand carrying a sword for the coming battle. We've come to aid Sir Ferrara, our brother in the Court of Enchantments. It is time for his telling of the Ballad of Bloody Bones. It is a ballad of obsession and sacrifice, one of the summer's oldest. Bloody Bones was not always as a terror. No, he was once called Famor, a counselor to Issa himself. Sadly, he was driven by lust, and by his need to possess whatever he desired. Taking Lord Issa's lover, he fled with her to his hollow of Udua. When the maiden was rescued, Issa cursed Famor. He could not die, and his soul would never enter the great cycle. He became an abomination, known only as Bloody Bones. Every few seasons, Bloody would emerge and steal away a maiden to make his bride. That is, until he took the beloved of Sir Ferrara. We are legendary champions of the telling, brought together for the purpose of ensuring Summer Court glory for seasons to come. Like all other Fae in the Western lands, I am a subject of the Court of Summer, our wise council of elders. They are responsible for the well-being of our kind. I do not speak of magic with a knowing tongue, but I do know that the persistence of Fae songs is eternally linked to the enchanted lore stones in which they exist. When mortals began to use magic to create, change, and even destroy their own lore stones, it was decided that the ballads of the Summer Court needed better protection. The cairns are a new kind of lore stone, Hallam's way of keeping outside influence from affecting our stories, from corrupting them as the days pass and seasons transpire. There is no need to kneel. Honestly, I wish I could do away with all this king nonsense altogether. The tragedy we face, it is not legend. It is real. It is now. Yes, I am the acting Wenson, but the true king has been gone for many seasons. I am the 5th such Fae to hold the title, and at times like this, I wish I did not. It is an amulet, worn by all King Wensons in the telling. I wear it, as have all the kings who rose and fell at the mercy of the seasons. Only he who wears the king's token is worthy of walking in Wenson's stead, of singing the most important songs of the Summer Court. He is one who prefers action to discussion, a tempestuous firebrand who would rather pursue the mortal flesh than any other of life's mysteries. That is why his ballad is such a stirring one. Ferrara will always be the lovable rogue who finally chooses another over himself. Timeless is what it is. Few know the truth of the House of Ballads, that we are not the actual heroes of myth. Those knights have gone, passing into the cycle, or moving on to nobler adventures. However, it is our wish for the great songs to endure, that seasons of Fae would sing them before the fires. True power is in returning to what matters. So the House of Ballads was established, and worthy warriors were found to act in the roles of Wenson, Bellmaid, and the others. To tell these tales is a great honor. Ferrara went in pursuit of his nemesis, for Bloody Bones has emerged, poised to abduct a maiden to be his mistress. So goes his song. You will need to revive Ferrara after the battle. I can only assume Hallam would not have sent you unprepared for this task. Go to Ferrara, and quickly. When the two of you finish, I will await you at the House of Ballads in the north. Do be careful, Sagril. Uduath is northwest, on the shores of Ettinmere. It is sealed by a powerful spell, but Bloody's magic is weak, and you should be able to gain entrance. Good luck.
What's this? Another hireling?
Yes? Really? There's no need to stand around and gape. Dead? Each and every one? Well, you certainly rose above the call of service. You've earned your pay, and then some. Good then.